Why did Bitcoin crash in the wee hours Sunday night, early Monday morning? What was happening? Is Bitcoin falling apart? Is Peter Schiff right? Is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? Or was there a coordinated attack by JP Morgan and Vanguard and a couple other companies to try to crush Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategies, which all it does is own Bitcoin? And then Michael Saylor, genius move, crushed them. And now the price is back up over 90K. It went down as low as like 80, 82,000. Everyone was like, it's over, Bitcoin's done, MicroStrategies, and it was a clear coordinated attack. My name is Graham Elwood. You're watching the Bitcoin Vigilante here on Bitcoin Hollywood and all my other platforms, Planet Comedy and the Graham Elwood channel. So one of the accusations about Bitcoin, and it's a fair one, is that it is very volatile in the short run. Now, we went through this in April when Trump first passed the tariffs. The tariffs aren't working. They didn't work in Trump's first term, but whatever. He's Trump. He's just going to, the tariffs work. And the markets all crashed in April, and Bitcoin went to 80K, 79 even. I think it went under 80. And everyone's like, oh, Bitcoin's done, Bitcoin's done. And I pointed this out on this show, and there's videos. You can go watch this. They're all time-stamped. Then what happened is Bitcoin and gold started slowly going back up. And then Bitcoin hit all-time highs over the summer. Its current all-time high is 126. So we've had this sort of slow pullback of Bitcoin. It's been below 120, it's below 110, 105. And then we had this severe collapse just on Monday night. There's evidence, hard evidence of what they were trying to do. So if you're just new to this space, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't have a finance degree. So I'm giving you this information from very much just somebody that's I got into Bitcoin because I saw the value in it. And Michael Saylor's this big billionaire. So because he's a billionaire, my first inclination is to not trust him, but he really understood, and he started really understanding Bitcoin back in 2020, really gets it, and started taking his company, MicroStrategies, which is a software company. And he's a very smart man. So he's created a lot of software. He, saw, when the iPhone came out, it's going to be all about the apps. It's not going to be about the phone itself. And he got involved in that, and he made a lot of money. But he started putting only Bitcoin on his balance sheet, and the MicroStrategy stock has gone up and up and up. And that company is like one of the single biggest holders of Bitcoin, something like 650,000 in full coins. And all these companies, and then Vanguard came out and said, oh, we don't we don't believe in Bitcoin, but they were a big holder of MicroStrategy stock. And JP Morgan has said, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, and then they're trying to get into it. So what they do, there was a coordinated attack to try to take down MicroStrategies and also drop the price. Anytime there's a coordinated attack like this, it's not because they don't believe in Bitcoin. It's because they want to buy a bunch of it, and they know that if they drop the price down. I mean, think about it. Think about it if you had $10 million and you wanted to buy Bitcoin with it, and it's at 100,000, over 100,000, 105,000, and you can help manipulate the markets to get it into 80, 85, you're going to just own more of it. That's what they did. I think I don't know if it was necessarily them trying to own more of it, but them definitely trying to take out MicroStrategies. And it failed. Michael Saylor crushed them. So here's what happened. So this is so breaking. JP Morgan is accused of market manipulation. In the past 2 weeks, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Vanguard, and Schwab, those companies have always just done nothing but good things for the people. Those are the people's corrupt Wall Street whorehouses. JP Morgan sold off a large portion of this is MicroStrategy, MSTR, shares last quarter. This was in, October, September-ish, right? And repeatedly criticized Bitcoin. So this is a strategy. Now they're offering a Bitcoin-backed bond. This is very crucial. So there's the that's not the one I wanted. I wanted this one. There's The Bitcoin ETF, which I've talked about, this came into the space, and it's where an ETF is basically says a certificate that you own Bitcoin. They have ETFs for gold. And my thing as a Bitcoin maximalist, as a purist, buy Bitcoin on an exchange, get it off the exchange and get it into a cold wallet. That's the single best way to do it. When people say, well, I don't know, I always ask them this: do you want to own physical gold coins, or do you want to own a piece of paper that says you own gold coins by a company that could suddenly just go, oh, your gold coins aren't there anymore? So that's why the ETF, like I said, Max Kaiser said it on this show, they're useful idiots. It's bringing a lot of money in, which jacks up the price of Bitcoin, which if you're a Bitcoin holder is good, but it's the best case. And I've been saying this for 5 years: buy Bitcoin, put it on a cold wallet, right? But they're offering Bitcoin backed bonds because they see all of these Bitcoin products that they can offer their pre-existing customers, people who have, and it's their high net worth customers, but and also what's called retail. Retail is just like people like you and I. You open up a Schwab account, you go put $500 in there, and you buy $500, $100 worth of this stock, $500, $50 worth of that stock, whatever. So they want to offer, and when retail investors can also move just very high net worth people saying, oh, I heard this Bitcoin thing is good, I want to get some exposure to it. JP Morgan's going to offer a Bitcoin backed bond, which again, if you're a Bitcoin holder, this will help you in the price. But when people say, I don't want to get involved in Bitcoin, Graham, because of these big companies, they'll screw it over, they'll mess with it. This is why you want to own it off of an exchange. This makes you a sovereign individual financially. And now with Bitcoin backed loans, you can be your own bank, meaning if you own a bunch of Bitcoin, you can borrow against it and pay interest on it. But this is what the rich have always done. They acquire assets and then they borrow against it, and they don't have to pay taxes because they're getting loans off of their debt. I'm not encouraging you to go rack up debt. I'm saying this is one of the things you can do with an asset. And you could never borrow against it and never sell it. Some people, Michael Saylor is one of them, never sell. I don't know, everybody's personal situation, their financial situation is different. I can't tell anybody what to do. But if you do own Bitcoin, borrowing against it is an option that you have. Or whenever it goes up, you can sell a little and take a little bit of profit or whatever. But this is why, another reason I want regular people to own this thing, so that these rich guys can't do this. But they did this and failed. So I just want to clarify what all that was. And this is why when these big hedge funds and companies say, there's interviews with the Vanguard CEO going, no, Bitcoin's no good, we don't like it. And Vanguard wants to offer one of these as well. So these guys deliberately said, let's go badmouth Bitcoin publicly, go on shows like C-SPAN and Bloomberg and all those shows, CNBC, and badmouth it, Fox Business, badmouth it. And then secretly, they liquidated MicroStrategy stock, so they had cash. They want people to come and buy their product. This is an old playbook, kids. This is an old playbook. Say a thing's bad, sell off other assets so you have cash ready to go. Then say this thing is bad. It's like there's a house on the block you really want, and it's priced. It's a big fancy house, and let's say it's priced at $600,000, and you want to buy it, but you want to get the price down. So you sell off you sell your gold and your stocks, let's say, and you have $400,000 in cash, and you want to buy that house outright. You go then say, oh, that house is bad. It's on bad land. The foundation's bad. You talk a bunch of shit about that house, or the neighborhood's crimp. You even you say there's fake, the crime's gone bad in the neighborhood. And then the property value drops to 400 or 375K. You snatch it up, and then you come back and go, actually, the neighborhood's great. We've lived here for years. Our kids are here. Boom. So now you just got a $600,000 asset for $375,000. I'm talking in very general terms, but that's basically what they did. So Vanguard previously stated they would never allow their platform to trade Bitcoin ETFs this week. They announced they rolled out a Bitcoin ETF trading. BlackRock CEO once called Bitcoin and crypto money laundering land in 2017. Today, he said he was wrong and noted a major shift in the position. So they're not going after Michael Saylor and MicroStrategies because they don't believe in Bitcoin. They see the value in it. And these Wall Street guys, once they see, they say, oh, this is a scam, this is a scam. And then they say, oh, wait, there's real money here and Michael Saylor's kicking our asses. Let's go after him. Charles Schwab dismissed crypto as purely speculative in 2019. Today, they've announced they will allow Bitcoin trading on their platform starting in 2026. So Schwab, wow, we can make money off of fees. They see big exchanges like Coinbase, Crypto.com, Binance, and so what they want to offer their customers is, because some of their customers went, I want to buy Bitcoin, so they're opening up separate accounts. They want Charles Schwab. No, just open up a Schwab account, put tens of thousands of dollars in our account, and then you can buy stock, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy whatever you want. Why the sudden change? In 2017's Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said Bitcoin is a fraud. Then JP Morgan bought Bitcoin when it dropped 20% over the weekend. You see what I'm saying? They deliberately nosedived the price to buy it. And that's why, one of the reasons why the price is now climbing back up. Now JP Morgan sells shares of MicroStrategies, increases its margin requirement from 50 to 95, pushing for MicroStrategies exclusion from the MSCI index, and has a history of manipulating Bitcoin price. So what they were doing, why he sold off all the MicroStrategies, to devalue MicroStrategies, to force MicroStrategies to sell, right? Because they have to pay dividends at the end of the year. So this is why this is happening in late November, December, right? So then MicroStrategies, and they're like, oh, MicroStrategies doesn't have any cash. Looks like they all wanted a Bitcoin price lower to scoop up more shares before another Bitcoin bull run. They know there's going to be a bull run. So they tried this, and then what happened? What did Michael Saylor do? Oh, turns out he had, Michael Saylor had somewhere in the neighborhood of $1.4 billion in cash reserves ready to go to pay off the dividends. And this is what Jim Cramer said. Jim Cramer, who oftentimes is like the reverse Cramer, we always say, like, whatever Cramer says, do the opposite, because that's how you make money. But this is what Cramer said about what Michael Saylor's move did. So what Michael Saylor did, and Cramer's going to talk about this, they all came at him. They tried to devalue MicroStrategy so he wouldn't have to sell off his Bitcoin to pay his dividends. So you see what that? So if MicroStrategies have to sell off a huge chunk of Bitcoin, that would crash the price even lower, and all of these vultures could scoop it up. But Michael Saylor is a Bitcoin purist. He's like, never sell your Bitcoin. So he had $1.4 billion in cash reserve that I don't think anybody knew about. Like he knew this was happening and lured these cats in that's my guess. But this is what Cramer says. He did a pincer move, which is a military strategy.
I would say that this man is not to be trifled with. Saylor will come on Squawk. He'll come on everywhere. He'll come on every show. It wouldn't shock me. He pops up at the White House for all I know. He will do whatever's necessary. He is the Malcolm X of Bitcoin, okay? Malcolm X, right? Yes. By any means necessary, he will defeat the shorts. Defeat the shorts.
We will see.
That's what his job is. I mean, when he gets up in the morning, he puts on whatever kind of men's warehouse thing he's got going. He comes in, he goes, I'm getting him today.
Yes.
I'm getting him today. And I got to tell you, he's good at that.
Sure.
I would say that this man is.
And that's what happened. They were trying to short Bitcoin, drive the price down, make Michael Saylor sell. If Michael Saylor would have had to sell a huge, let's say he had to sell like 100,000 of his coins, the price would have gone even lower, 70, 65. And then JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, all these guys, they would have snatched it up. Michael Saylor said no. And then the price went up 6-7%. In the last 48 hours, it's gone from 83,000 to 93,000. What do I tell you guys? Buy the dip. I just did that. And then just sold off a little, made a little bit of profit just to pay some bills. The bulk of my Bitcoin is in cold storage. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, guys. I know some of you are like, oh, why did Graham go on this crazy Bitcoin thing? Why shut up with the Bitcoin? It's a Ponzi scheme. No, it is not. The richest, most powerful people in the world know what it is. Every little piece of Bitcoin, and you can buy as little as $10 of a Bitcoin. I know you see the price. You're like, Graham, I don't have 93,000. You don't have to buy a full coin. Each coin can be broken up into 100 million pieces or Satoshis. Okay? So when you buy a little piece of this, couple $100 worth, $200 worth, whatever you can buy, that's a little piece that the JP Morgan, these scumbags cannot get. And they don't want you to understand this. They want you to just see a clip seeing some guy and a rich guy CEO, he's an expert on one of those shows going, it's a Ponzi scheme. And then somebody like Liz Warren goes, that's a Ponzi scheme. I don't know what I'm talking about. And then you go, oh, it's a Ponzi scheme. Rachel Maddow was just bad-mouthing it. All the people that hate Trump, and I don't like Trump at all. He's a horrible president, but so was Joe Biden. They then equate Bitcoin with Trump, so Bitcoin bad. Don't do that to yourself. You have an opportunity for financials to be sovereign because the banks collapse, all this stuff, they're going to seize your money. You're going to be able to go, I got a bunch of Bitcoin sitting on a cold wallet. I'm protected. These billionaires are starting to see how valuable Bitcoin is, and that's why they're coming. There will only ever be 21 million coins ever made. There's currently 19 million. There's only 2 million left to be mined, and that'll happen over the next 100 years. Read the Bitcoin white paper and be your own Michael Saylor. So when they try to come for you, nope. He would have sold everything he owned to pay those dividends so that he wouldn't have to sell his Bitcoin. And he had this money tag. They didn't realize it, and he just whooped their ass. And for about 2 days, the price of MicroStrategy stock was down and Bitcoin was down, and oh, they got him. Nice try. He won. I'm not like glorifying a billionaire, but but there's no evidence. Saylor hasn't been on Epstein's plane. I haven't seen him do anything that's like nefarious. Maybe I'm wrong, but most billionaires got their money by scams and corruption and whatever else. There's a handful who just made good products. He made, and he's invested well. There's a handful. Maybe he's one of them. But as far as this thing, he baited them in. I think he probably said, oh, they're going to try this. Good. Let's tuck this money aside. And then they'll do this. They'll drive the price down. We'll buy more. It's a brilliant move, man. You got to respect it. You got to respect what he did. A coordinated attack. It's like Mamdani, right? He's clearly going to start acquiescing to the corporate Democrats. That's clearly happening. But the fact that both parties were against him and he beat them, I think that's cool. I know he's going to acquiesce and he'll just be like AOC. He's already saying all this stuff that's very corporate Democrat-y. But I just love that Cuomo lost and Eric Adams lost. The two big parties got worked. So anyway, follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I buy Bitcoin. I buy the dips. And it's done all right for me. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Like, share, subscribe. We're launching a bunch of cool new stuff. We have a GoFundMe that I will put on the screen. It's a GoFundMe for my late night talk show. Please check that out. Also have the Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood album is available on iTunes and Spotify. So check that out. We're going to be launching a lot of cool stuff. There's a new series coming out that I'm going to be launching called Laughs Around the World, showing me traveling and eating food with comics and doing stand-up and learning about places and culture and meeting people. It's a fun little show that we're going to be releasing on all of my shows. Start subscribing to Planet Comedy and Bitcoin Hollywood. And I just appreciate you supporting everything we do. And buy Bitcoin, baby. Shave your knuckles for justice. Boom.